Now we're going to talk about how to connect Adonis with MySQL. Make sure you have installed MySQL on your machine. Adonis provides a Lucid CRM, so you can use that CRM. So you can use MariaDB, MS SQL, MySQL, Postgres, and SQLite. Make sure you have installed this ORM. Let me check that. Yes, we have an ORM, Adonis Lucid. It's time to install the MySQL. npm I MySQL. MySQL package has installed. Now we need to set up the configuration in the .env file. Name of the app is AdonisJs. I already specified the host. This is the app key, DB connection. We have MySQL. By default, MySQL used 3306. Let me double check the port. Make sure your MySQL server is running. So I'm going to start MySQL. You also need to have MySQL Workbench. (3306). Yep, 3306. I have to specify my root DB name, DB user, and the password. For me, I'm using root DB user, root DB password. Database name, I have to create the database name, say blog underscore Adonis. I'm gonna create a new database. Let me create a new schema. A new schema has created successfully. Here we have blog Adonis. So make sure you have you can see that this is the dependency. Lucid ORM is a dependency. I told you when you will use or install AdonisJs dependency, you must need to add that dependency in the provider. And when you check that app.js from the start directory, you will see that they have already added the Lucid ORM provider. So we don't need to do that. You also need to add the migrations. I'll talk more about the migrations in this video. They also added the migrations. They already added the configuration for the MySQL database. MySQL. Maybe you have a question. There are a lot of configurations for SQLite or MySQL, Postgres. So how can you tell that which one you want to use? You have to write, you can tell that with the help of env file. Here I'm using the MySQL configuration. If you will place the SQLite or Postgres here, Adonis will know that you are going to use SQLite. Let's say if I will put SQLite, Adonis will know you are going to use SQLite database. So I'm going to specify MySQL. So by default, I'm telling to Adonis, you have to use MySQL database. So we specified the configuration in the database.js file. Here we have MySQL. It's trying to getting this configuration from this one. Anyway, let's try to test that. npm. Oh, I have to use the Adonis serve minus minus dev. The application is running. It means we have successfully connected to our database. How can you save the record in the database? How can you create new tables? Inside the database, you will have the migrations. When you check the MySQL workbench, you will not see any table here. So we have to create a migration to create a new table. Adonis use the concept of the migration. Up means when you have to change, you gotta do this one. If you want to remove, you can execute this command. So these are all the commands. So when you execute this command, it is going to create the table in the MySQL database with this property: username, email, and the password. In under the hood, Adonis using KNX.js. It's a SQL query builder for JavaScript applications. So how can you create a new table? You have to run the migration. You can use this command, create table. Create table, you can specify the properties. These are all the types: text, string, float, decimal, boolean, date, date time. So what I'm going to, whenever you change a new property, whenever you add a new table, you have to create a new migration. So how can you run the migration? Let's double check that from Adonis documentation. ORM, where is the migrations? Let me find migrations. We have migrations here. You can roll back or rerun at any time. Migration make it easier to work as a team. Yep. Enabling database schema, changes from one developer to be easily. Adonis make migrations. Yep. Up method is used to take action on the table. It can be used to create new table or altering an existing table. So we have to create a new table for the post. That's why I need to use the up method. Down method is used to revert changes. If you want to go back, then you can use the down method. So here is the way you will see the column types: binary, boolean, date, date time, decimal, increments, column modifier, after, first. All this stuff is available. So let me show you the magic first. I'm gonna execute the migration. Adonis, hey Adonis, please run my migrations. Now you can see that we do not have any table here. This Adonis migration run command will create this table. Successfully executed. Migrated database successfully. I'm going to refresh that. Aha. You can see that this is our database. I think we have tokens table. We have users. In the users, we have ID, username, email, password, and updated at. They also created the table for the token. They made the relationship. When you try to run the migration again, because it has already run, migrations have already run. You will not see nothing to migrate. You can see that. Now it's time to create a new migration for our post. Adonis migrations. I think we have create method. Adonis make migrations. Yep. Adonis make migrations for the post. So you can create as many migrations as you want. I would like to create a new table, so I'm gonna use that option, create table. Post schema migrations, you can see that. You can change any name here. Table.increments, it is going to create the auto increment ID. It will also create the updated add, deleted add. So let me set the table properties. I'm gonna open user migrations here. So this post table will have title and the description and published property. Table.string, the name of the property, title. You can also specify the configuration. Let's say setting title length should be 200, not nullable, not nullable is true. So you must need to provide the value of the title. You can check the validations from here. Chainable. Here we have used not nullable. Not nullable. Yep. Here we have adds a not nullable on the current column being created. And then we have a Boolean property. I think so. We also need a text property because text is large. We can't create the string because text should be large. It could be paragraph. It's a blog post. It could be lengthy post. So I can use the text type here from the Kinex text column with optional text type. Yep. So text not nullable. It's an required field. The name of the text property, which is description. We need a Boolean property. Table dot Boolean table dot. I think we have a Boolean type. We have a Boolean type. I can find out here. Where is the Boolean? Here we have the Boolean. The name of the property is publish. Yeah, it could be nullable, or you can set the default value to false. I can use the default chaining here. Default to yep. Default to true. Default to true. Default to false. By default, it should be false. So I'm gonna run my migrations. Something went wrong. What is the error? Table is not defined. So this dot create. I don't need to add semicolon. What is this saying that? I don't need to add anything here. What is that? Oops, table is not a function. Database migrated successfully. I think it has created the post table, so I can refresh all. You will see the post table. We have ID. ID is auto incremented. Title, description, published, created, and updated. So let's say you wanna add a new property inside the post schema. What you will do? You have to create another migrations. Adonis create migrations. You can do that. Let's say I would like to add a new property inside the existing table. That's why I'm gonna use select table. A new migration with different key has created. It's an empty here. Here you can alter table here. I don't need to alter an existing property, but you can do that. This dot table, what I'm gonna do, this dot table, I think we have to do that. Table dot, I have to add a new property. Let's say that published, maybe author name, something like that. Published dot string. I'm just creating this for only demo purpose. Author name, let's say that. Say not null able to true. Let's try to run the migrations. Database migrated successfully, and you will see author name. Amazing. So I want to delete the author name, so you can use the reverse the alteration. I don't know how to run the down command. This dot table dot, I think did remove column or delete column. What is that? This column drop table. I think you can use down here or the rollback. Yep, you can use the down command. I don't know what is the command of drop column MySQL. I can search that from here. Maybe drop column. Yep, we have a drop column. Drops a column. Table dot drop column. I have to provide the name of the column, which is author name. Adonis migration run. I don't think so. Let's try to do down. It's not a registered command. Rundown command. Let's try to search that. Let's try to use the rollback Adonis migration rollback command. Rollback completed. I think it has deleted the author name. Yep, you can see that we don't have author name. So in this way you can use the rollback. If you wanna alter the table, you can also do that. You can change from publish, let's say that migration. I'm gonna create a new migration post. I would like to alter the table, so I'm gonna find that this one. So table dot string, I think so, table dot boolean published. Let's say I would like to change the type. I think we have to use the alter command here. Table dot alter post. You will get the table. Table dot, what is that? Let me check from my oh yeah, I have to use this here, this dot alter post and the table. Let's say I'm gonna change the published. Let's say I'm gonna change the default to true. I just want to show you for only the demo purpose. And alter here. Make sure you use the alter methods. Adonis run migrations post. Adonis, what is the command? Adonis migration run. Something goes boolean, oops. Migrated successfully. Now you will see the default value, which is true. I think so. It has also created the author name. No problem. So I'm gonna run another migrations post. Post schema. Let's say that this dot alter, this dot alter table, which is post, and I got the table dot drop column. I'm gonna use author name, and we also need to update the default to value. Table dot boolean published true. Oops, default to false and dot alter. This one will be removed and it will set the default value to false. You can see that author name has deleted and default value has set to false. So that's all about the migrations. When you play around with more migrations, you will understand more about it. When you build the complete application, you will learn more about the migrations. So that's all about the migrations. So we created the table